Okay, let's say you've got about 10 minutes to work on your game. You open up Godot, wait for it to load, find the right project, and spend another minute trying to remember what you were working on. But by the time you're actually ready to do anything, most of those 10 minutes are up. And now you just can't do anything. Now, Duolingo doesn't really have that problem. You can pull out your phone, finish one lesson in a couple of minutes, and put it away again. I like to call this a pooping game. Now, obviously, Duolingo isn't exactly a game, but the idea here is that you sit down for a couple minutes and you're able to do it by the time you're done pooping. You don't necessarily need to even remember where you left off or set anything up. You just go ahead and start. And about a month and a half ago, I wanted to see whether game development could work like that. Could you spend 10 minutes learning game development and actually make progress on a real game? So I built the first version of CodingQuests around short lessons. Now, enough of you guys signed up and supported it so that I could actually finally look at how people were using it. And I got a lot of you guys emailing me about it. And I found that there were basically two groups of people. One group would use the platform for around 10 minutes and leave. The other group of people would sit down, use it for like hours. And the thing is, no one was spending 20, 30, or 40 minutes on it. Now, at first, it seemed strange. It kind of seemed like, oh, maybe those 10-minute people are just bored. But that didn't seem to be the case. It was the same type of person, but in two different situations. I noticed that a lot of you guys tend to actually be hobbyists. Sometimes you have 10 minutes on your phone, and sometimes it's a Saturday and you have the entire afternoon and you want to actually spend that time making a game. So the real question became, how do I make the same project work in both situations? And by the end of this video, I'm going to hopefully have that question answered. Because the main goal of the platform was to help you guys make a game. But it didn't really seem like I was achieving that for a lot of you guys. Because what matters is whether you actually end up with a game that belongs to you, and whether you actually learn. Now, my first solution was a pretty obvious one. I thought the lessons were either simply too long or just too boring. Basically a retention problem. So I started cutting everything into small pieces. And if every lesson took less than 10 minutes, then someone with 10 minutes could always finish one. But the problem with that is that it made the experience a little worse for everyone who had more time. If you sat down for 2 hours, let's say, now you have to click through 50 different lessons to just build one tiny inventory system. Even if each lesson was short, 50 of anything will end up pretty exhausting. And when I tried to force every game development lesson into 10 minutes, something even worse happened. The lesson stopped feeling like game development. You would write 4 lines of code, press run, print something, and it appears in the console, which is cool, but technically this is just a programming website, which boot.dev already does. And if you guys wanted boot.dev, you would just go to their website. This doesn't really make CodingQuests unique at all. You couldn't really see the game development aspect of my platform. You couldn't interact with it either. And the worst part about it is that there's no game. You made a game without the game part. That doesn't make sense. That was the part I missed. The problem wasn't really the length of the lesson. The problem was that the lesson had nowhere to actually show you the game. Now, my intention was for you to take the code into Godot and run it there. But again, the people with 10 minutes don't have that time. And I got a lot of you guys emailing me about this, and I thought of a solution to actually have the game running inside the website. And now this looks like Godot, but it's actually running inside of CodingQuests inside your browser. When you open up a lesson, the scene, the files, the code, and the game is already there. For example, this is a lesson from my roguelike project. You can change the player's movement speed, press run, and immediately the difference is in the game. This way, any code that you change inside of the lessons ends up affecting the game itself. The old inventory quests mostly taught you how to write the functions behind an inventory system, which is useful. But this new version lets you place the inventory slots into the scene, write the code that fills them, press run, and use the inventory that you just created. You're still learning the code, and the part that is the code is still there. But now the code is actually connected to something inside of the website that you can interact with. Now, the thing is, once that was working, I had another problem. The platform was finally useful, but when you had 10 minutes. Now, what happens if you have 2 hours? I didn't want to create a short beginner version and a separate advanced version because that still wouldn't match how people were using the platform. The person with 10 minutes today might be the person with 3 hours tomorrow. So each quest is designed to work in different sized sessions. If you have 5 minutes, you can make one small change and get it working. If you have 20 minutes, you can complete a full lesson. If you have a couple of hours, then you can keep going and complete a much larger part of the quest. This way, you're not choosing a different course based on your skill level, you're simply continuing the same project for however much time you have that day. And if you're using it on your phone, you can switch between the code and the game. I tried to format it so that it actually looks quite nice on your phone. So this way, if you change something small, you can run it, look at the tab, and see the game run. Now, the thing is, I don't expect anyone to build an entire inventory system while standing on a train, but you can fix one function, test one idea, or finish the small piece you started earlier. Now, there's an obvious question here. Is this actually Godot running inside the browser? No, each lesson uses a custom environment that I built to behave like the real project. It uses the same code, the same structure, and the same result, but the environment around it was made specifically for that lesson. Now, that creates a pretty important problem. If you spend a month learning inside of CodingQuest, then open Godot and discover that none of what you learned transfers over, I haven't taught you how to make games, I've only taught you how to use my website. So instead of promising you that everything transfers, I'd rather show you. At the end of every quest, there's a download button. Now, when you press the download button, though, you get access to the actual Godot project that you were building throughout the lessons. You can open that project in Godot on your computer and everything is there. So the same scenes, the same scripts, and the same code that you wrote during the lessons, you can just transfer them inside of Godot and there they are. This way, once you've actually used my website, let's say on your phone on the train for 10 minutes a day, this way it actually transfers over once you get home on a Wednesday. This way it actually transfers over if you sit down on a Saturday for, let's say, 3 hours. You want to actually take that progress from your phone and download it onto Godot. Now, the browser editor isn't supposed to replace Godot. It's there to remove all this setup when you only have a few minutes. Then, when you're ready to spend more time on the project, you can download it, open in Godot, and continue working normally. That's what I wanted 10 minutes of game development to mean. You probably aren't going to build an entire game in 10 minutes, but 10 minutes can still move your game forward. It doesn't have to disappear just because you didn't have 2 hours. But the inventory quest is completely free. If you guys want to try it down below, completely for yourself. And if you do try it, let me know what's confusing or broken. I genuinely do read all the feedback, negative and positive. I might not be able to respond to every message, but I do read every one.